Hello and welcome to this presentation. Today I'm going to be talking you through who the ANP are, the Association of Naturopathic Practitioners, and what a naturopath does in practice and who they can help. So first of all, a little bit of background about the ANP. So we were established in 2001 and we support practitioners via continued training and education. We run multiple CPD lectures per year in 10 locations and online locations throughout the UK. Around 500 professionals will attend an ANP lecture every month, and we're the fastest growing naturopathic association in the UK and Ireland. Our goals are to support our practitioners to ensure that they're educated to the highest standard to deliver the best service for members of the public. We want to increase demand by letting the public know who we are and what we do, and where you can find a practitioner who's well educated and safe to work with. And we want to look to change the healthcare system to be one about positive vitality of health rather than absence of disease or absence of disease symptoms at the moment. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what is naturopathy. Perhaps you don't know, perhaps you'd like a little bit more information. So it's a system of healthcare which encourages and promotes the body's own self-optimizing mechanisms. We use therapies such as nutrition, fasting, hydrotherapy, naturopathic manipulations, herbal medicine, acupuncture, homeopathy, and other modalities, following naturopathic principles to promote the body's own self-supporting mechanisms. And I'm going to talk you through a few of the naturopathic principles so you can understand how it would look in practice. So some key principles to begin with, very much focused on the restorative power of nature. So it's a very positive therapy. It comes from the idea that the body has a vital force or a life force that can be stimulated or suppressed. This vital force is stimulated by fresh air, sun, clean water, a healthy diet, fasting, and detoxification. Naturopathic principles, they promote the flow of vital force, and the practitioners will use various therapies to achieve that. Now, you might hear fasting and start to panic, but technically a fast is just that time between dinner and the next meal. So it might be 12 hours, so maybe fasting from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's not necessarily a 4-day water fast. That's not something that a person would be starting with for sure. Very much focused on prevention, and prevention being preferable to cure. So most diseases are clearly linked to diet, lifestyle, and the environment now, described as non-communicable diseases. Therefore, it's essential that we address these factors in order to prevent disease rather than simply react when it has already manifested. And anyone working in healthcare will know it is much cheaper to prevent illness than to have to turn around and treat it. We very much look at the cause, not the symptom. So the root or underlying cause of dysfunction needs to be identified and addressed, not the various symptoms. We look at the whole person. We take account of the whole person, encompassing the physical, mental, genetic, environmental, social, and other factors that may be influencing their health. And we very much think that health is a positive attribute. It's more than the absence of infirmity. Think about health as being vitality and well-being. And it's a valuable tool that you and your patients can use to pursue their ambitions in life, whatever they may be. And we very much focus on the person, not the disease. This comes up again and again in different ways. But we should not be asking what the problem is, but why is it there? Where did it come from? And therefore, what is the root? So the answers are going to be unique to each client. Therefore, the intervention must be individually focused on each client. So this leads on from that idea. So the disease results from the body's internal systems, not the pathogen or disease-causing agent itself. A very current example of this is long COVID. Many people were infected and went on to recover, but a subset of people with the same virus went on to develop long COVID. So it's the terrain that needs to be addressed and not the infection, not the microbes. We look at deficiency and excess. So perhaps there's a lack of a whole food diet. Maybe there's a lack of some vital vitamins and minerals, and perhaps an excess of unhealthy food, for example, an excess of sedentary behavior. So we would look at all aspects of the individual's lifestyle and their diet to see where we could help. And one really, really, really very, very, for me anyway, and for all of the naturopaths, really important principle is about our role as an educator. So if I'm told to do something because it's good for me, I very rarely do. I'm more likely to do something if it's explained to me why. And then moving beyond the why, I'm more likely to do something if it's explained to me why I'm doing it, and somebody helps me look at my life to see where the blocks are for me achieving that. So coaching around behavior. So this is a collaborative process. Anybody who works with a naturopath will not be experiencing a paternalistic relationship. It'll be very much collaborative. There will be things that the practitioner will suggest that perhaps the client isn't able to implement at that time. So the whole plan is modified around that. What is achievable? And also looking at the blocks, and can anything be done around the blocks to change in behavior? So naturopathic practice, the naturopathic practicum, is the term used to describe the practical applications of naturopathic theory and philosophy. So 3 very important aspects. Assessment. Anybody who goes to work with a naturopath will spend a lot of time being quizzed and questions on their various symptoms. When do they develop? Could they associate them with anything? Do they change? What do they respond to? When do you feel worse? When do you feel better? Why do you do that? How much time do you have to prepare your food? If I give you a plan which has a lot of home cooking, where can you fit that in your day? How many other people do you cook for? Just some examples there. There'll be principles and practice of supporting the body. So what works best for the person? And then educating the client. This is a really key part of how we practice. The client will be told why they're doing something, and again, the coaching to make sure that they can achieve it. So what conditions can naturopathy help with? Most practitioners will have some form of specialism. Some examples: metabolic health, so cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, infertility, in general, all hormonal health, so perimenopause, menopausal symptoms, problems with painful periods or absence of periods, so things like PCOS, autoimmune disease, so thyroid disease, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis. All of these things can be worked with a practitioner, naturopathic practitioner. Digestive complaints. Often this is kind of like the gateway symptom that will bring people into naturopathic practice. There's so much information on gut and gut health and how it influences the rest of your health. So things like IBS, chronic constipation, diarrhea, gastritis, heartburn, all of those you can work on with a naturopathic practitioner. Chronic fatigue, those patients where you just really don't, they're not well, but you're not really sure what's causing it. So chronic and complex illness fits into that as well. Neurological illness. So some practitioners might specialize in Parkinson's, or they might specialize in Alzheimer's. Okay, so back to the A&P and what we provide. Really very, very high quality CPD. This is key in healthcare. Everybody knows in healthcare that the research is increasing all the time. I went to a conference quite recently, and one of the lead speakers said the knowledge on our industry, the research in our industry is doubling maybe every 3 to 5 years. So whatever we know now, that will be doubled in 3 years. So how on earth can one person stay on top of that? So at the A&P, we provide curated CPD, which helps our practitioners stay on top of the latest research. We have a really important tool with a drug-nutrient interaction database. Lots of people are on multiple medications, particularly if they're chronically ill. So how would a micronutrient or a herb interact with that medication? Is it safe to use them together? Discounted professional insurance, discounts with practitioner suppliers. We also offer one-to-one mentoring sessions, cutting-edge industry news and information, regulatory support and advice. And there are opening hours down the bottom and some examples of articles that we provide for our members. So who can join the A&P? Nutritional therapists, herbalists, acupuncturists, homeopaths, natural chefs. We have a wide variety of professions within the A&P, and these are all people who can support the patients that you work with. And some examples of this CPD that we provide, these are all for 2024. Understanding histamine and mast cell activation syndrome may be a significant part of chronic illness. We've got regular monthly mentoring sessions. They're the last Thursday of the month at 1 p.m. online. We've got some client coaching sessions coming up. So shifting mindset with Sarah Elizabeth. This is very much the next step on from why am I changing to how can I change? Because one of the biggest obstacles anybody finds in natural or in healthcare is behavior change, because so many of the illnesses are related to diet and lifestyle. So how do we get people to change? So we always have the latest information, the latest coaching information for our practitioners to learn about. And then stress and resilience is the client coaching session, which will be in February. So we have an annual naturopathic summit, multiple speakers, and they will be announced over the coming months. And that's the 14th and 15th of September in central London. So here's our website. You can join us there. You can also look at the amp.co.uk to find local practitioners. Email if you have any additional questions to info@theamp.co.uk, and there is our phone number as well. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you found the presentation useful. Again, if you have any additional questions, please do email in. I'm Virginia, and I'm the head of communications. And if you send something in via info, it will be sent on to me. Brilliant. All right. Thank you very much for your time today.